We're live Saturday morning. Need to change my microphone. Saturday morning start sit show. And we hope you're all here to join us. We're talking football, week 7, Sunday. Here we go. Hopefully it's a good week. We got 2 teams on bye, although it's 2 good teams, Ravens and Bills. So, some fantasy relevant players there. Of course, we got a Europe game once again. I believe it's the last one, at least for a few weeks. I don't think it's the last one of the year, but it's the last one for a few weeks. And we have 2 Monday night games, and they are true. It's a true doubleheader because it's a 7 Eastern and a 10 Eastern. So it's a true doubleheader here coming up. So exciting times. Week 7. After this week, we will be halfway done with the fantasy regular season, as crazy as that is. Most people go to week 14. That means we'll be halfway done. It just flies by, man. It flies by. So what's up, Caleb? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you, if you enjoy college football, you throw some games on. We got, I think, 1 top 10 matchup. 2 top 10 teams here in the morning section. Vanderbilt and LSU. So hopefully you can check that out if you're interested in college football. If not, I hope you just have a good Saturday. Fall Saturday. Hopefully the fall weather is starting where you are. We got a couple weeks or so until Halloween. And if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the chat. If not, then we'll probably take off early. Not going to be live tomorrow morning, unfortunately. Got to work the morning game here. So, but yeah, hopefully, if you guys have any questions, I'm just checking my teams and see if I have any start sit stuff to do here. Sounds like DeAndre Swift is going to be playing. That's the latest update that we got from him. So that's good to hear. Swift has been good, man. I'm just looking at his numbers. He's been RB18 to start the year, which is awesome. Hasn't really had a down game. Good stuff from DeAndre Swift. I think I'm okay on this team. It looks like I'm okay on this team. I have a almost an undefeated team, 11-1. We play a game against the league median, so you get 2 matchups every game. 11-1 team. Pretty excited about this team, and I feel like it hasn't even hit its full potential yet. I have guys like Travion, BTJ, Xavier Worthy. I feel like those guys haven't really hit their full potential quite yet. So. But yeah, Caleb, if you have any questions, any start sit trade questions, dynasty questions, let me know. I wanted to hop on here and just try to get to what is our kind of last minute start sit stuff here. So, man, I have one team. I have a team here I thought was going to be really, really good, and they're just not good. 3-9. How tough is that? I don't know how it is for your guys' leagues, but for a lot of my leagues, if at least redraft, it feels like everyone is jumbled up. Like our listener league, redraft league, we have one player, one manager, Pete, who's 10-2, so he's killing it. Everyone else is within 3 games in the standings from each other, and again, you can get 2 points each and every week, right? So, sorry, I'm just trying to put on the game. We have everyone. 7-5 is second place. 4-8 is last place. So, literally, everyone's 3 games apart. 3 games apart here, which is kind of crazy to see. Caleb, Idol, I thought it was you. I couldn't remember properly. Again, trying to keep track of everyone's names and stuff like that. I know we've been trying to get a deal done for a while now, and I'm still open to trading Daniel Jones. but I kind of just feel like he's worth more than a first at this point. I feel like I need to kind of treat him that way. But I also like understand people not wanting to pay more than a first for Daniel Jones. I don't know. I just kind of feel like he's, for me personally, like he's at that point. Like he's been QB7 in this league, and I think he's been about QB7, QB8 in most leagues this year. He's been, he's played a couple good defenses and still put, like, he played Denver and still put up 315 and 1, and then another rushing touchdown and stuff like that. He's had a pretty easy schedule, I will say. He's played Miami, Tennessee, Vegas, and Arizona. Like those 4 of his 6 games have been pretty easy. One against Denver, one against the Rams. The Rams game was his worst game by far. So basically, he's had 2 tough matchups. He's been bad in one of them, right? So, yeah. I mean, I still want to toss around that possibility of like trading him for sure. But like, again, like I kind of view him as like at this point, like a potential long-term piece. Like he's not like for example, I traded Rodgers in one of my not startup and other listener league dynasty league for a 2nd round pick, and Rodgers is essentially like a 1-year rental, right? And so like I'm happy to do that, but when it comes to a guy like DJ, like I don't know, I just feel like he could be worth a little bit more here. So, yeah, I enjoy it too, and I know you've mentioned like, is it get annoying and stuff like that, but I definitely don't get annoyed. I just get really busy over the weekend because I'm working for PFF and stuff, and it's our busy time of year and all of that, or busy time of the week is the weekend, and so it's just hard for me to do negotiations and stuff like that. So, any other start sit stuff that I have here? By the way, guys, make sure to hit the like button on the video. That's all we really ask. Just helps get views on the video. So make sure to hit that like button for us. Seems like it's a little bit quieter of a Saturday. Usually we got a bunch of people in here asking questions. Like that's how you get for flex start BTJ, Keenan Allen, Huge, or Dobbins. I think I'm at Huge. I'm huge at this point. Let me just pull up something here. Let me pull up something here. I assume this is PPR. That's how you get. I assume it's PPR. Most people, when they don't put anything, it's PPR. For me, it's between Dobbins and Brian Thomas Jr. I think I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. though. Him and Trevor Lawrence got on the same page last week at the very least. And then you look at, you actually start looking at Brian Thomas Jr.'s stats and you're like, okay, they're actually not terrible, right? Like it's been very disappointing for where you drafted him and stuff like that. I get it. But last 2 weeks, at least he's given you something, 12 PPR points. 2 weeks ago, last week, he gave you 23 PPR points. Should have had more because he had that big touchdown called back. That was, Travis Hunter lined up off sides. It had nothing to do with, him scoring the touchdown. So I think I'm happy. I will happily go Brian Thomas Jr. there. So, yeah, the Travion usage is me too, man. Like Antonio Gibson gets hurt, and so we think, okay, this is maybe they start to use Travion a little bit more. He literally had his lowest the week after Gibson gets hurt. Travion Henderson has his lowest snap share of the season, 29.7%. Lowest of the season. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, man, it's painful. He's a big reason why my team has busted. That Poseidon League, man, I thought that team was so good because my roster was filled out like this league with a 12-team start 12. if you're able to fill out a roster with good players, man, like you're gonna win. And I thought, holy crap, like I was benching in this league. I was literally benching guys like, Jalen Waddle or James Conner or Aaron Jones were on my bench. And I was starting, AJ Brown, Travion Henderson, Bucky Irving, DJ Moore. I had a couple other guys there. So like I thought that team was so good, but the Henderson stuff. DJ Moore has been a disappointment. I don't know, but yeah, I would go with BTJ. I'd go BTJ or Dobbins. I'm comfortably BTJ there though. Normal PPR, so no PPR, or is that standard like no PPR or normal PPR like 1 point PPR? Bourne or ETN in the flex. Bourne or ETN in the flex. I think I'm probably ETN. I think I wouldn't be shocked if Bourne had a better game, but ETN 7 catches over the last 2 weeks, so he's involved in the passing game. 4 of his 6 games, he's had 2 or more catches. Or 3 of his 6, he's had 3 or more. I'd probably go ETN, but I wouldn't be shocked if Bourne was like better. Because Bourne, with the injuries to the 49ers and stuff like that, now it sounds like they're getting Kittle back, right? So there could be less going towards Kendrick Bourne in general there. So I lean ETN, wouldn't be shocked if Bourne is better. Assuming that's PPR. If it's standard, then I'm definitely going ETN. What's up, Marvin? Excuse me, I had to sneeze. What's up, Marvin? Marvin, your Kyler Murray take just keeps getting better and better each and every week. Jacoby Brissett comes in for the Cardinals, gives him a competitive game against the Colts, throws for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he has one of the better just pure passing games for the Cardinals. So your Kyler Murray opinion just keeps getting better and better, which I hope you're wrong, because I have Kyler Murray all over the place. But yeah, any other start-sit questions, guys? If we don't get too many, we'll take off a little bit earlier today. Or just any, it doesn't have to be start-sit. It could be trade. It could be just any questions in general here. I will be happy to answer them. What's up, Kevin? How you doing? Hopefully you're enjoying this fall Saturday afternoon. Is it fall where you guys are in the world? Like in terms of the weather? I know it's fall if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, which I assume most of you do. I know we have a couple listeners from like Australia, so technically it's spring over there, but I assume a majority of us are in the Northern Hemisphere. Where I am, we don't really get fall weather, so it's still, 70s and stuff like that. But hopefully it's fall weather where you guys are, because I think October to me is the best month of the year, right? To me, it's the best month of the year. So, but yeah, just looking at some of my other teams here. I lost my last undefeated team last week. I lost, what did I lose by? I didn't lose by much. Unfortunately, I played Jamar Chase in 3 leagues this year, or this week. That sucks. That's pretty disappointing. How are you feeling about the Vikings fantasy players in starting to slowly fade on anyone other than JJ? Not really. So Justin Jefferson is obviously awesome, and there's no concern. And Kevin, are you talking kind of redraft perspective, dynasty perspective? What are you talking about here? But obviously Justin Jefferson, I view him the same. He's awesome, elite, maybe the best wide receiver in the entire NFL. For fantasy, I'd probably still have Chase, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, these guys are awesome, right? Jordan Addison. Literally all we've seen from Jordan Addison in his career is just this like kind of hyper efficient type of player. A guy who is going to, is a good bet to make a big play each and every game. Like he has an 81-yard catch this year, 69, 62. The guy makes big plays every single game. He's always been a little bit touchdown heavy, but at the same time, like the guy literally scores a touchdown in almost every single game. Every other game. The guy's played in 34 games. He has 20 touchdowns in 34 games. So like he's scoring a touchdown in a huge, what is that, 60, 70% of his games. He's scoring a touchdown. It started off that way this year. He has one touchdown in 2 games, 114 yards in the other one. He's been a top 15 wide receiver, I think, since coming back. I know it's only been 2 games and stuff, but so I don't really view him. I view Addison as like a wide receiver 2/3, like a low end 2, high 3 with upside each and every week. Like that's kind of how I view him. So if he's my wide receiver 3, if I'm starting him as my wide receiver 3, I love it. If I'm starting him as my wide receiver 2, I'm a little bit nervous about it. As my wide receiver 3, though, I love it. TJ Hawkinson, I don't know what's going on with Hawkinson. Like, and maybe I'm a little bit slow to catch up on this. But that being said, like he still has 15 catches in the last 3 games. So he's still averaging 5 catches a game over the last 3 games, which, he's not giving you kind of Hawkinson-like numbers that we are used to, but he's giving you low-end tight end 1 numbers. 6 for 40 is a low-end tight end 1. 4 for 40, 5 for 50, and a touchdown. So I don't know if he's still kind of coming back from his injury a little bit. I don't know. It's possible, but I kind of view him as like a low-end tight end 1 still. Jordan Mason to me, like, I don't know how I feel about Jordan Mason. I feel like he's a little bit of a trap back, meaning if he doesn't get a touchdown, you're probably disappointed. You look at his last 2 games, 72 total yards with 3 catches, no touchdowns. So he gives you 10, under 10.5 PPR points. The week before, he gives you 56 with 3 catches and a touchdown. You're happy, right? 14 PPR points. So we'll see when Aaron Jones comes back. Like, I'd be a little bit concerned about those catches. And when Aaron Jones comes back, I think he could kind of turn into a little bit of a trap back. I feel like Jordan Mason's kind of a little bit of like a sell high, in my opinion, especially if he has a big game this week. I kind of want to sell him high in Dynasty and in redraft and just get a little bit more consistent option there. I could be wrong about that. Trade Kevin, what's up? By the way, guys, just make sure to hit the like button for us. That's all we ask. Hit the like button, gets more eyes on the video. We'll be live here. As long as we get questions, I'll be live for the next 40 minutes. If we don't get too many questions, we'll probably take off a little bit early. So trade Josh Allen and Mike Evans for Amon-Ra Herbert. Standard league. I assume this is redraft, right, Kevin? That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one because Mike Evans is coming back this week, right? That's what we assume, right? Has it been confirmed that he's coming back? No practice on Friday. Returns to practice. Sounds like he's gonna be playing, right? And like this, without Godwin and without Igbukah, Mike Evans could have a huge game. Like he could just be awesome for however long those guys miss. They could miss a couple weeks. I don't know. For however long they miss, he could be awesome, right? We saw Mike Evans. He started the year. He was okay. Man, I'm really curious what everyone thinks about this. I think I lean the Amon-Ra Herbert side. I think I'd rather start Amon-Ra and Herbert, but that could be completely wrong if Mike Evans is just awesome. especially over these next 2-3 weeks. Even if it's for a couple weeks and the dude's like, a top 5 wide receiver these next 3 weeks, then I think you kind of lose that trade. My concern with Herbert is that offensive line. I think Herbert can give you, 250 and 2 most weeks, but that offensive line could really hurt him. And so I'm looking at like what obviously he started the year awesome. And then his off, now Joe Alt could be coming back and stuff like that. But I'm just worried about like looking at weeks against the Giants and Commanders where he went, barely gave you like 201. Like that concerns me a little bit. But I think I lean Amon-Ra and Herbert here. But that's a tough one. I think it's a good trade. I don't think it's like a smash win on either side. And either side can win that. Seems like something's up with JJ McCarthy. It does feel a little weird, right? It does feel a little bit weird. Like it's almost like they kind of feel like, so the Vikings, the Vikings are sitting there at 3-2. They've had their bye week, right? It kind of feels like they're kind of like, I think we can get by with Carson Wentz, right? I think we can get by with Carson Wentz and we can float around this, 600 win percentage. And JJ McCarthy is kind of like, taking some time to learn how to be an NFL quarterback or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows? But at the same time, like what we saw from JJ McCarthy, we saw one really good quarter, really, or one good half, right? But we saw like him look really good in that comeback win against the Bears and look terrible against the Falcons, which, by the way, the Falcons are seemingly a pretty good defense. Like we didn't think that at the time when McCarthy played them week 2, but I think we've learned that the Falcons are actually a pretty good defense. So we have to take that into account. Redraft half PPR, start 8, send Njoku, Judy, and Myers for Dobbs, Wandale, and Juwan Jennings. I'm losing starting tight end. Njoku, Judy, and Myers. Is this redraft or dynasty, Marvin? Redraft or dynasty? Because dynasty, it's pretty easy. Honestly, I think redraft as well. I think I'm taking the Njoku, Judy, and Myers side. I think I would take that side. I know they've been a disappointment, like Judy and Myers to a certain extent as well. But like, I don't trust Romeo Dobbs a whole lot. Like, he's kind of a touchdown or bust type of receiver. But I know he's like, he has, when talking about the Packers, I mean, he has as good as anyone to catch a touchdown because he's out there all the time. Like, I don't know if touchdown or bust is a little bit cruel. Like, basically, we've seen 5 games from Dobbs, and 2 of them without touchdowns. 2 of them would have been fine, like 10 over double-digit PPR points, and then 3 of them would have been under, right? So I don't know. Wandale. I mean, we've had a couple weeks now. Wandale's been solid. He's been solid. Juwan Jennings, I don't know what the hell is going on there. I think he's really, really hurt, and his contract incentive is he needs to play a certain amount, and so he's playing hurt. I think if he didn't have that contract incentive, he wouldn't be playing, and so he wants to make that bonus. I don't know. I think I prefer the Njoku, Judy, and Myers side. I think Judy and Myers have a way better chance of just being you're looking for a wide receiver too. I kind of view Dobbs and Wandale as like wide receiver 3s who can have wide receiver 2 weeks, but I think Judy and Myers can be wide receiver 2s who can have wide receiver 1 weeks. Now, it hasn't really worked out that way for Judy, right? So I don't know. I think I lean on just keeping the Njoku, Judy, and Myers side personally. I was talking highly Brissett in Indianapolis as well. Yeah, Brissett's a solid player. I mean, he's a solid player. You have to trade him. No, it's not even. I wouldn't even do that, Marvin. Like, I'm not even gonna like defend him so I can trade him. Like, oh, I want my listeners to think he's good, and then I trade him to in our listener league. That's not even it. I just, I just know when it comes to the quarterback position, when you really look at quarterbacks, and there's just this giant bucket of guys, right? This giant bucket of guys that are very similar to each other, right? Jordan Love, Bo Nix, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, Prescott has been awesome this year, Goff. Like, there's this giant bucket of quarterbacks, so it's like you can have your preference and who you like and whatever, but at the same time, it's like any one of those guys could be better than the other one. Like, they're not the elite rushers, really. And so, a guy like Kyler, who I think can be an elite rusher now with this injury, I doubt he will be. So it's kind of going downhill and stuff. But this is, my thought process heading into the year. Still think he can be an elite rusher, has weapons and stuff like that. Like, I think he could be when I'm comparing Kyler to Jared Goff, if I had to choose one to be like a top 5 quarterback, I would choose Kyler, right? On the year, a top 5 quarterback on the year. I don't think Goff can get to those levels. I mean, we've seen Goff's best seasons and he's still like a QB8, which there is value in that, absolute value in that. But when I'm talking about the potential to be like top 5, top 3 quarterback, when you look at that giant bucket of guys that I listed, I still think Kyler, I would choose to have the best if he puts it all together with his rushing ability. Those other guys are probably going to be better than him. So don't hear what I'm not saying type of stuff, So, so yeah. But yeah, I have Kyler in a lot of leagues for sure, and in non-listener leagues as well. Do you play in any return yard leagues? I do. I'm in one, and I feel like it feels gross throwing in Luke and DK into my lineups of good wide receivers. Caleb, I do. I play in one where it is absolutely broken because of how many kick return yards there are. Like, guys are literally returning every single kickoff. Trust me when I say this. Every single kickoff, the kicker is kicking it to where the returner has to return it. Every single one, except for like end of the game stuff where they just want to kick it out of the back of the end zone. Like, literally every single kickoff. And so I do play in one, man, and it is 100% broken because I think the kick return yards are, I forget what they are exactly, but so here's some of the guys that you have that I'm starting consistently each and every week in this league. I'm starting guys like KaVontae Turpin, who, here's what KaVontae Turpin points-wise was getting: 19, 35, 26, 37. That's what he's got the first 4 weeks. Now, he's missed the last couple of weeks, right? He's insane. I have a guy named Miles Price. I don't even know who he is, really, and he's consistently putting up in 4 or 5 weeks over 15 points. He's a wide receiver for the Eagles. No, he's a wide receiver for the Vikings, and he's putting up over 15 points a game. Does not have a catch on the year. Like, the league I'm in is like, it is bonkers how broken it is. It really is broken. And so, yeah, I start these guys, over them. Rashid Shaheed is like the most valuable player in that league last year. He's returning a little bit less, but he's been awesome. So I hear you, man. I don't mind. I don't mind starting those guys. I really don't mind starting those guys. Because they're literally returning every single kickoff, guys. When I tell you this, I watch a lot of games for the work I do. Every single kick, the kickers are allowing it to be returned. Tyrod Taylor better than Fields. I mean, people are saying that now. Buffalo should have given him a chance. He broke their playoff drought. He had that good year in Buffalo for sure. He had a good fantasy year too because he rushed for a good amount. Do I send Njoku on the trade I mentioned if I only have Gadsden? I still lean the Njoku side. So what's up, Dylan? Redraft, full PPR. I'll spare the details here, but I need a wide receiver held 2 and 4. Got an offer to move Swift or Bill. In return, I get Quentin Johnson or Marvin Harrison. Which RB do I move? Which wide receiver do I get? I would go for Marvin Harrison Jr., first of all. Which running back would I move? I think I would move Krosky Merritt. I'm the biggest Bill fan there is, but a couple things that concern me slightly with Bill is he's been good because his yards per attempt was like insane. It was like over 6.5, which if you're not familiar with that type of stuff, anything over 4.5 is good. Over 5 is like elite. To be at 6.5 is insane and unsustainable. And he's not really involved in the passing game. I don't know if that's him or if that's Jaden Daniels. So like I think he might be a little trap backish as well this year, where it's like, okay, I got 111 yards rushing from Bill, but without really any catches or anything or a touchdown, it's not great, you know? And so Swift, I know, is going to catch. I mean, Swift this year, he's been I think he's been RB18 to start the year in PPR. He literally doesn't have a game with less than 2 catches, 2, 4, 3, 3, 3. So he's averaging three catches a game, and I think that's legit as well, right? And so he's going to catch 60 plus balls if he stays on that pace. He's running the ball well. He's kind of the only guy for them. I know they used Kyle Monangai a little bit more in that game, but I'm not super worried about that. So I think I would move JCM, and I would want to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Would you try to upgrade from Hurts to Lamar rest of the season? I'm a redraft 12-man, 6-0, thinking I have to pay up a little bit more. Was thinking of Hurts, Smith for Lamar Worthy. Devonta Smith, Jonathan? Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get that done personally. Like, I don't think you can get that done. Because Lamar over Hurts, and there's a lot of people that would probably say Worthy over Devonta Smith, right? I mean, where are they at to start the year? Like, they can't be that far off from each other. I know Worthy missed some time, but in a points per game basis, where are they? Worthy is wide receiver 43. Devonta Smith is wide receiver 39. So they're not even that far off in a points per game basis. So there's a lot of people. And by the way, Worthy had that's counting. He had a 0-point game there. Is week 1 where he gets knocked out right away. You take that out, and he's been better. Worthy's been better than Smith. So I would say the Lamar side is getting both players are better in the deal. So if you wanted to do Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith for Lamar, I think that's a realistic trade. And that really depends on what your team looks like and what Devonta Smith is on your team. If he's a bench piece, I don't mind doing that. If he's kind of like a starter for you, then I probably would avoid doing that. And I would just roll with Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, Jalen Hurts, I know there's a lot of talk about him and he hasn't been great this year, blah, blah, blah. He's still QB6 in points per game. Like, he's still awesome. He's still only 3 points less per game than Lamar. So, like, I don't want to overreact too much. And he hasn't been playing that well, right, in terms of passing as a quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I would easily do the Lamar Worthy if you can get that done. I don't think you can get that done. Let me grab one. And again, would I do Hurts and Devonta Smith for Lamar straight up? I would think about that. Fantasy football turns a lot of people into salesmen. It's entertaining if you build a league as well. Yeah, but again, like I'm always going to be like honest opinion on things, no matter what. Like, I'm not going to try and like set because like, yeah, like we're in leagues together and I want to win that league, but also like I pride myself on giving honest, true advice, and what I believe in. So, and that's how I felt about Kyler. And I still slightly feel it's still obviously like there's some concerns there and stuff like that. But like, I'm still going to hold out hope for Kyler turning it around and being at least decent. Best ball kind of format. These fantasy managers are ahead of the game, and it's best to have a variety of perspectives. Sure. Haven't done many best balls. Neither have I. I think we're going to set that up, though. Listener League Dynasty Best Ball. Let's do that in the off season. Let's do that. House Price, don't even know who really is. Yeah, I mean, because in this league, it's insane. Like in this league, kick return yards are worth more than rushing and receiving yards. I think it's like basically like 2 points for every 10 yards of return yards. And so Miles Price is literally he's literally returning kicks every week. Like, let's see here. Where's he at? Where is he at here? Miles Price. He has 383 kick return yards, 170 punt yards. So he has 550 total yards. And again, you're getting like double the amount of points there. So I think it's like 70, it's like 25% higher or something like that. So essentially he has like 700 and something total yards compared to like a wide receiver. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. U of A, I've been trying to buy Bijan. Is it worth sending 3 of my starters for him in a 10-team 1 flex? I'll be sending Judkins, Drake London, and Rice. Bubba, so it's a 10-team 1 flex, meaning quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. So it's 10 teams start 7. Generally in those trades, I say go out and get the stud piece. That being said, those 3 guys you're playing could be starters even in shallow leagues. So I feel like it might be too much here, Bubba. I feel like it might be too much. If you were sending guys who are like if let's just say like Jordan, Addison, let's just say you said Judkins, Addison, and DeAndre Swift or something like 3 guys in that caliber, then I would say easy Bijan, right? Because you want studs. It's a 10-team start 7. You want studs. Bijan's the best player in this league or in this trade. That being said, Judkins, Drake London, Rice, they're starters in that type of league, in my opinion, unless you're just absolutely stacked. So I think it's slightly too much. If you take out one of them, I'd be okay with it. If you take out one of them, if it was Judkins and London, Judkins and Rice. But I mean, you're looking at London, who's been wide receiver 7 in points per game. Judkins, who's been running back 20 in points per game, and then Rice, who we're all expecting to be awesome. So I think it's too much there. I think it is. I got CMC, HN, Dowdle, and my wide receivers kind of lacking. Huge and Waddle in my lineup. Goddard. Traded away Chuba and JK for Henry right now before the Chuba injury. Okay, I like that. How are we feeling about Dowdle, Chuba this week? I'm comfortable still starting Dowdle. I wouldn't be shocked if in a couple weeks we get kind of a 50-50 split here. I think the Panthers really like Chuba Hubbard, right? And so I don't think they're just going to completely bench him. But I also don't think you can just completely go back to what Rico Dowdle was before the Chuba Hubbard injury, right? So I think you could see a little bit of a 50-50 split here, which is going to be kind of annoying. But if they use them kind of like in Detroit, like they use them to that extent where it's like you get this drive, you get this drive, then I think they both can be useful. But I'm still probably okay starting Dowdle this week. Not going to start Chuba this week. And I think I'm okay, depending on who I'm starting him over, still starting Dowdle. And Cugin, Waddle, like, look at what Waddle's been since Tyreek got hurt. Waddle's been awesome since Tyreek got hurt. So, Waddle's been really good the last 2 weeks. So I think you got a good started there. 2 and 4 had some bad matchup luck this year as the 4th best points for this is, guys, go to your commissioner, or if you're the commissioner, pitch this idea, please. Please play in league median leagues. I literally almost all my leagues are league median leagues. What is that? That means you play 2 matchups each week. You play your normal matchup that you play each and every week, and then you play a matchup against the rest of the league. And if you're top 6 in scoring, or top 5 if you play in a 10 team, if you're in top 6 in scoring, you get a point. And then you get a point if you win your matchup. And what this prevents is a situation like this. If you're the 4th best team, you shouldn't be 2-4. You should be 3-3 at best, right? You should be 500 at best. So basically what this means is, like, you play in a matchup this week where you score the 2nd most points in the league, and you happen to play the guy who scores the most points. You literally would have beaten every other team in the league, but you got the shitty matchup, right? But you still go 1-1 at least, right? So league median to me is the way to go. So go and pitch it to your commissioner, or if you're the commissioner, pitch it to your league for next year. Superflex Dynasty League got offered Purdy in K9 from my Kyler Murray and J.K. Dobbins. I think I would take that. Marvin, I need your opinion here. You hate Kyler Murray. Are you taking Purdy and K9 over Murray and Dobbins? I think I would take the Purdy K9 side. For safety. I mean, you are trying to win, right? Like, you assume that you're 4th in points, so you assume you're still one of the better teams, right? You assume you're still one of the better teams. And so if you're trying to win this year, yeah, I think I would just go Purdy and K9. I agree with Marvin that I love Kenneth Walker. I hate how the Seahawks use him. They use Charbonnet in all the value touches, even though Kenneth Walker is the better running back. Like, please just use Kenneth Walker 65% of the time. Give him goal line, give him catches. Like, the dude's amazing, but yet he plays in 40% of the snaps, and Charbonnet gets all the value touches. So in Dynasty, I think I still go Purdy K9. And I still think I can compete. I'm not trading away guys that I still think I can compete with those guys. That's what I was thinking. You have Ibuka and Puka. Yeah, so you kind of need the depth here, right? Would you start Jordan Mason or Cam Skattebo? Probably Skattebo. Yeah, I'm going to go Skattebo, especially in PPR. I know it's a tough matchup for Skattebo. It's kind of – is Philly still a tough matchup? Let's see here. Philly, the Eagles are – like, they give up the 8th most points to running backs. Broncos give up the 5th least, 6th least, 7th least. Yeah, I think because it's PPR, I probably go Skattebo. I don't mind the Mason if you think he's going to get in the end zone. If it's half or standard, though, I'd probably go Mason. Ibuka is a game time decision. What's your read on it? He returns to practice. Is he practicing in full here? I guess what I would do, Clutch, is I would. So you have 2 options, which is nice because the Buccaneers are the early Monday night game, and so you get Bucks, Lions, Texans, and who are the Texans playing? Texans, Seahawks. So you get those 4 teams to choose from. There should be someone out there that you can pivot to. I would go out and pick up a Tej Johnson, the other Johnson for the Buccaneers. I'm blanking on his name right now. Why can't I think of his name? Cameron Johnson, Tej Johnson, a Cameron Johnson, a Sterling Shepard, a Cade Otton if he's out there. Obviously, leave Ibuka in your flex so that you can pivot to anyone really. I mean, even if you have to go desperate, Sean Tucker, on the Lions, you have some options here. You have, Isaac Tesla or something, like if you're desperate. For the Texans, you have a guy like Xavier Hutchinson. He scored a couple of touchdowns. He's playing a lot. So he's out there. Dalton Schultz might be out there. Who did I say? The Texans, the Seahawks guys. Not really too much. So have one of those guys that you can pivot to and then hold out hope. It also depends a little bit, Clutch, on who are you starting. Like, let's say you knew Ibuka was out right now. Who are you starting over Ibuka? If you have a really, really good option there, then maybe I just roll with that player and not take that risk. You can also reevaluate it as the week goes on. Are you down by a lot of points? Did you play Jamar Chase? Do you need to chase points? Did you play against him or play him? If you played him and you need a safe floor, maybe just go with starting someone over Ibuka. So a lot of questions there. If you can give me a little bit more context there, Clutch. Purdy and K9 all day. This was our startup year and didn't realize how important league median was. Yeah. For next year, pitch it for next year. Damian in a 2-flex PPR league, very thin at running back. Kyron, Monty, Woody, Kendre, Amon-Ra, Nico, London, Rashi. My God. You have Amon-Ra, Nico, London, Rice, Zay at wide receiver. Who would you target? Achane is on the trade block. Other targets are Saquon, JT. I mean, JT is the best player in that group. I would JT, Jacobs, Achane, Saquon, all those guys are great. If I had to order them, I'd probably go JT, Achane, and PPR. Yeah, PPR, JT, Achane, Jacobs, Saquon, Cook. In that order. I assume it's not Dynasty, Damian. I assume it's redraft. I'm happy packaging like Zay Flowers and someone. So all those guys are good, but that's my order there. Once again, it's JT, Achane, Jacob, Saquon, Cook. I love K9 too. Sharp is a stud too. Yeah, I just think Kenneth Walker's better. I have James Cook and Brees as well. Then have the number one wide receiver group in the league. Yeah. Again, it probably turns around, but I think even you making that trade, Colin, I'm just calling you Colin. I don't know if that's how you say your name. I still think you can compete and you get the better deal. So those are the type of trades I love. Like when I make a trade and my team gets better for both Dynasty and potentially this year, that's great. It's like Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson. One will go to a new team and their career will start. Sure. And we're already getting there with Kenneth Walker. So Lynch got acknowledged after he was traded. Jackson was the guy. Crazy, right? Who are you talking about, Marvin? Who are we talking about here? I wish the Chargers got Charbonnet. Me too. The Chargers need to trade for an O-lineman too. The problem with trading for O-lineman is like no one in the league, no one's deep at offensive line. And so you're trading for a backup, right? Like no one is deep for an offensive line. Offensive linemen almost never get traded because just no one's deep at the position. Everyone is shallow, essentially. One injury and their offensive line screwed. Appreciate you, Colin. Once again, guys, hit that like button. If you do want to support us monetarily, you can send a super chat. You don't have to. I'll still answer your questions. Also, join our Discord. It is free to join. I'm going to leave it in the chat here. Join our Discord. You'll know when we go live each and every time. Also, I just did 2 team reviews. So if you're interested in a team review, I will break down your team either on a live stream or as a private video. Usually spend 30-ish minutes or so reviewing your team, whether it's Dynasty or redraft. And we kind of get all the way through. Like we really break it down and, look at, your league settings and what players to target and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, you can join our Discord, message me privately or message the team review channel. And then, I will get you that team review. I can do a turnaround pretty quickly. If you buy one now, it's a paid thing, by the way. $15 for one, $25 for two. It's pretty cheap compared to a lot of other prices out there. And I can get it to you pretty quickly. Won't be able to get it to you before this week, but Can get it to you pretty quickly overall. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Redraft, wasn't sure if Rice was too much for HN. No, I would take HN over Rice. I would, especially with that wide receiver room there, Damian. I would take HN over Rice. I think Rice is going to be good, but HN is also going to be good, you know? So, but yeah, any other questions, guys? Or we're going to be taking off then. We're not going to be live tomorrow. I have to work the London game. Is it London or is it Germany? I have to work that game, whatever it is. So it won't be live tomorrow, unfortunately. I guess we'll be live again Monday, maybe. I don't know, actually. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But we're going to put out a video, a Dynasty Stash video. I'm going to put it out right now. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Appreciate all of you very, very much. And any other questions, get them in. If not, I'm just going to take off. Join our Discord if you're interested. We're going to put it together some more listener leagues in the offseason, Dynasty listener league. So if you're a Dynasty player and you want to get into a really fun league, like there's a lot of action in our leagues, man, like a lot of action in our Dynasty leagues. There's just trades happening each and every week, each and every day. It's a lot of fun. It's, some better, settings and stuff like that. So if you want to get into a new Dynasty league with a trusted group of people and a fun group of people, then we are the place to do it at. So, but yeah, guys, just hit that like button for us. I'll wait for a few more minutes if there's any more questions. If not, we're going to be taking off. But yeah, what game are you guys excited for this week? You guys excited for any games this week? I'm trying to see. The Lions-Buccaneers game should be awesome, right? Vikings-Eagles is interesting. Chargers-Colts should be good. 49ers-Falcons is intriguing. So a few good games. Not a huge slate, but I want the Chargers to win too. Me too, Marvin. I want them to win. I hope they do. Sorry, I was just looking at something. I just totally went out. Joe Alt is back. I'll take it. I'll take it all back. If Joe Alt's back, he is the man. Yeah, he's going to have a 15-year career. Yeah, I hope the Chargers win. We'll see. I think it's going to be a fun game. Chargers are at home, so that's a positive for them. If they can kind of, they really got to key in on Jonathan Taylor. Like I think he's the cog that makes the Colts go. So, but anyways, guys, we're going to be taking off. Appreciate you all. Join the Discord so you know when we go live again, and I'll catch you guys all in the next.